Okay, welcome back, my friends. So it is also the time to cook Addmaths again. Let's look at section B, MS 2024 paper. Okay, we will start with question 8A1. Prove that cos 2 theta equal to cos square theta minus sine square theta. Okay, now, how do we prove this? Let me write down A1. Okay. Now, for proving questions in chapter 6, right, you can decide if you want to prove left hand side equal to right hand side, or you want to prove like right hand side back to left hand side, because both ways will work. Okay. Now, let's just say we're going to start off with left hand side, and I'm going to show you how we can prove left hand side to right hand side. So the left hand side is cos 2 theta. Okay, and you want to convert this into cos 2 theta is actually theta plus theta. Okay, it is actually theta plus theta, and at the same time, right, I want you to refer to your formula page number 36, not page but the number 36, right? There is a formula which is cos, let me just refer back, cos a plus minus b, right, will give you cos a cos b, and then negative positive sine A sine B. So over here, right, it means we can convert our current equation into cos theta, because this is A and this is B, both coincidentally, it is the same thing. So cos theta, but the sign here, if this is positive negative, when you convert, it's going to be negative positive. So the sign here will be another way. So if this is positive, then this is going to be negative here once I convert. So sine theta. And the next thing is cos theta times cos theta will give you cos square theta and sine square theta respectively. And so you have actually managed to convert into right hand side. You have actually proven the equation such that cos 2 theta is actually cos square theta minus sine square theta. Okay, and it is that quick. We're going to move on with A number 2. A number 2 says solve the equation 3 cos square theta equal to 2 plus 3 sine square theta for the angle 180 to 360. Okay, so let me show you how we can actually solve this. Let's write down 3 cos square theta equal to 2 plus 3 sine square theta. Okay, first of all, we notice there are numbers and there are also terms that comes with cos and sine. So maybe we want to combine them together in the same place for those that involve cos and sine, because that is what we have proven previously, whereby cos square theta minus sine square theta is actually cos 2 theta. So my first step is to move the 3 sine square theta to the left, and then I leave the 2 at the back first. The same time here, I will factor 3 out. So this is cos square theta minus sine square theta equal to 2. And don't forget, this thing here is equivalent to cos 2 theta. So we can convert this into cos 2 theta. And at the same time, you want to move this 3 to the right hand side. And you end up with 2 over 3 on your right hand side. Now, 2 theta, you remain on your left, but cos here, make it shift cos, which is anti-cos, and then 2 over 3. Okay, now you're going to try press your calculator, shift cos, and then 2 over 3. You will end up with a value which is 48.19. Okay, how would you continue from here? 48.19, right? I want you to also refer to this term here. You notice your 2 over 3 is actually a positive term, right? For cos positive, you must remember there are 4 quadrants here. Add sugar to coffee. If your cos is in positive state, it will only happen in first and the fourth quadrant. So I want you to draw a line here for both quadrant. Okay, but because this is 2 theta, 2 theta means it's gonna go 2 rounds. Okay, 2 round means, let's say this is the first round, and then the second round will be continuing up until this point. So we have two rounds. That means we will end up with four different theta answer here. Okay, four theta answer here. So what I mean by that is the first answer, okay, let me erase this. We'll start from here to the first line here, which is 48.19. The second answer will be all the way to your second line. So to get the second line all the way to the second line, that theta, you can find it by 360 take away 48.19. But why do I know that this is minus 48.19? Because whatever that you get here in your calculator is reference angle. So reference angle means any angle that actually attached to your x-axis, which means here 48.19, and this column here also 48.19. Okay, so your second theta answer will be this. And don't forget, just now I mentioned because of 2 theta you are running 2 cycles here. So the when it comes to second cycle, right, you will take 360 plus 48.19, and one more you're gonna find it using 360 plus, okay, 360 minus 48.19, right, you will actually end up with 311.81. Right, so that is how you get your fourth theta answer. Of course, this is not the end, so we will write it down 48.19, and this is 311.81, and this is actually 408.19. This is 19, and this is gonna be 671.81. Okay, 671.81. All right, is this the end? Nope, because in the end, right, the questions are looking for theta, but right now you are in the stage of 2 theta, right? So that means theta remain. You want to take the 2 to move over on your right hand side and divide every single theta that you just found. So 48.19 divided by 2, you get 24.10 theta, sorry, degree. And then 311.81 divided by 2, you get 155.91. 408.19 divided by 2, you get 204.10. 671.81 divided by 2, you get 335.91. Okay, and you still got to be careful because the questions only wants theta from 180 to 360. So the only valid answers here to be given is the last 2 theta answer here. So we make a conclusion, theta will be 204.10 degree and 335.91 degree. That is how you're going to work whenever you confront any questions that involve 2 theta. Okay, because the later theta here, it's at your second round of it, and every time we calculate this second round, right, we will also go back to this line as a limit, and then the second line as a limit as it comes to your second round of it. Okay, second round is much more easier because you just gotta add another 360 degree, which is why I write it down here, 360 plus the 48.19 and also 311.81, because the 311.81 represent this full cycle all the way until the fourth quadrant limit line, which is at 311.81 degree in total. Okay, so that will be for A1 and 2, and we're going to move on with B1. I'm actually out of space right now, so I would actually consider to minimize my question 2. And of course, if you haven't yet jotted it down, you may consider pause the video to write it down first, because I would most likely have to minimize this. And I'm going to put it on my top right. I'm so sorry for the inconvenient cost. Okay, for B1, sketch the graph of y equal to negative modulus cos square theta minus sin square theta plus 4 over 5. Okay, interesting. And then the theta will be from 0 to 2 pi. 4 over 5 to me, I look it as 0.8. Okay, if you're not sure, you can press calculator as well. So what do we do here first? Now, it seems complicated to us because in the middle here, right, cos square theta minus sin square theta. But if you refer back to your 8a, right? This is actually cos 2 theta. So what the question one is, they want you to sketch, this is B, y equal to negative modulus cos 2 theta modulus plus 4 over 5. All right, this is what you're going to sketch. And then this is from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so where do we start? Okay, let's start with x-axis and y-axis. I'm going to get you step by step on how I actually interpret the equations and where do I actually start from. So to me, right, I always teach my students, especially I want to share with you, cos, right, is actually a shape of a cup. This is like a cup, C-U-P. I think in Malay is cawan. So for sine graph, right, it's like a snake. Ular, you call it in Malay. So when a full cup here represents b equal to 1. So because my b value is everything in front of the theta, my b value currently is 2, that would tell me that I have to draw two complete cups to represent the cos 2 theta. And at the same time, in front of the cos, right, this is a value here, but a value currently it's 1. So, my so-called amplitude will be at 1 and negative 1 as for now, before I look it into the 4 over 5. All right, the 4 over 5, I will settle it the last. Okay, I'll put it at the last. But as for now, it is good enough for us to determine how will my overall graph looks like for cos 2 theta. So if you are drawing cos 2 theta, you're definitely going to get something like this. 1 and negative 1. Oops. All right, this is what you will get for cos 2 theta, right? But because of the modulus, you want to reflect everything at the bottom of the x-axis towards upper side, So what I mean by that is you will redraw this and make it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to erase everything in black. So that is how my graph will looks like currently. But again, you see, there is a negative sign at the front. So you want to draw in the opposite direction then. Even though now this scenario, right, is actually modulus cos 2 theta. You are done with this. But because there's a negative at the front, you're going to start with the opposite side of it. So you want to start it right here, and then you just repeat whatever you have just drawn in opposite way. There you go, job done. Now you want to erase this green color graph. This one is your negative modulus cos 2 theta already. It's that simple. Lastly, because the entire graph has moved upwards, this is actually your C value here. C value will determine your graph movement, whether it goes up or goes down by how many units, depending on the value here. Of course, this is actually C is 4 over 5. 4 over 5 is actually how much? 0.8 as we mentioned. So if you are not sure, how do I move 0.8 upwards, right? You can always use calculator. You take negative 1 plus 0.8, you will end up with where? Negative 0.2, right? So that means this line right here will actually goes all the way up to negative 0.2. And every line that started at 0, right, will go up to 0.8. So that means you want to label down 0.8 here, maybe around here, 0.8. You also want to label here, this is negative 0.2, or maybe you want to write down negative 1 over 5. And then you may label here 4 over 5. Okay, you can do so. You can do so. So in the end, your graph shall look something like this. Let me move here. And there you go. You want to make sure that all the lines here now is at negative 1 over 5, which is negative 0.2, And then originally at 0 will be up to 4 over 5, which is 0.8 here, right? And that is your complete graph of the equation. Y equal to negative modulus cos 2 theta plus 4 over 5. The next thing I have to share with you is how you're going to decide where is your 2 pi and where is your pi. So your 2 pi, right, always remember, it's going to be where you stop at. So this is most likely going to be your 2 pi. This is most likely going to be your 2 pi. Okay, let me erase all these green checkpoint. Okay, so if this is 2 pi, right, where is your pi? Okay, you can always do it this way. Find the middle pattern. See, if it goes here, it goes here, forth and back, forth and back. So one more step here, one more step here, you will meet at the middle here. Basically, this middle, right, is your pi. And that is how you're going to determine your 2 pi and pi in an easier way. Okay, so this is the complete graph that you want to sketch. And this is from 0 to 2 pi. That is the end of how you sketch your graph. Next question is, there are 8 solutions when y equal to h. Now, y equal to h means this is a straight line, okay, which is parallel to x-axis. H is a constant. State the range of values of h. Now, 8 solution means when you draw the straight line, right, there will be 8 intersection. So they are asking you at which range, when I draw my straight line onto this graph, I will get 8 intersections. Okay, what I mean by that is, you see, if I use a green color pen to draw a straight line over here, will I get 8 intersection? The answer is yes. Let me show you. Okay. Okay, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get 8 solution here. Okay. One more thing. If I draw my line here, will I also get 8 intersection? Yes, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I still get. So that means, right, whenever I draw a straight line that is in between negative 1 over 5 and 4 over 5, I will get its solution. I will get its solutions. So my answer for B, right, will be negative 1 over 5, okay, H, 4 over 5. And that will be your answer for entire Form 5 Chapter 6 question. How many marks are there? In total, 10 marks. Yeah, in total, 10 marks. Okay, so you may consider pause the video to jot down whichever you need. I think there is quite some learning points where you want to jot down, especially when 2 theta can be break it up into theta plus theta, and then from there you can actually using the formula page number 36, and then to convert it into cos theta minus sin theta, and then you will end up with cos square theta minus sin square theta. I would say when it comes to sketching part, right, the framework of doing it is always the same. You notice what is the A, you notice what is the B, what is the C, and then you try to determine is this sine graph, cos graph, or tangent graph, and then is there modulus, is there negative sign. So do it step by step. You won't get it wrong. Okay, and then the other learning point is the 2 theta. When it comes to 2 theta, right, most likely you're going to get 4 answers of the theta, and then you want to shrink it down depending on the question's requirement. If they say the theta is only like 180, 360, then you want to take out the lower theta, which is before 180, and you want to leave your answer with 204.10 and 335.91. Okay, I think that is the end of the yapping for question 6. Let's move on to next question. I'm not going to do question 9, by the way, because this is graphing part is a bit hard for me to explain, but I'm going to move on and focus on question 10. Okay, and in this video, I'm going to actually cover the whole section B, and then the other video will be section C. Okay, so let's look at section B, question 10, which is integration. Form 5, chapter 3, integration, and in Malay, it's pengamiran. Let me take a sip of water. Alright, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I do hope that if you learn something and truly learn something, you may consider subscribe to the channel, and that will really support the YouTube algorithm and actually reach out to more and more students for the video that you are currently watching. Right, thank you very much, and let's dive into question 10. Diagram 4 shows the curve y equal to px cubed such that p is a constant. The tangent to the curve at point A intersect the y-axis at b0, -4. Okay, and let's look at the question A. Calculate the value of p. So it is given the b coordinate is 0, -4. Okay, if we want to get our p value here, okay, the very first step that we can consider is we could differentiate the y equation. You know why? Because if you differentiate this y equation, right, you will get an equation related to this tangent line. Because whenever you do dy dx, you get a result of that equation, right? That equation has something to do with this tangent line. So if I do dy dx, you get 3px squared, right? You get 3px squared. So what do you do with this 3px squared? You go and find out what is the gradient of this line first. You know why I talk about gradient? Because dy dx is gradient, keturunan, right? Dy dx has the same meaning as keturunan, which is gradient. So when your x equal to 1, I take it from here because it passes through A. So dy dx is 3p bracket 1 square, which is 3p. So this tells me that the tangent line has a gradient of 3p. Okay, another way, you also study that a gradient can be found using y2 minus y1 divided by x squared minus s1, minus x1, correct? So we have two coordinates here that actually passes through this tangent line, which means I can do p minus -4 divided by 1 minus 0 equally to 3p, because they tally, I mean they align, right? It has the same meaning here. So p minus 4 is p plus 4. 1 minus 0 is 1. You want to move it to the right, becomes multiplication. 1 times 3p is not going to be 5p, it's going to be 3p. And then you want to find your p. Okay? To get your p, you just have to move to the other side. This is 2p. So 4 divided by 2 is your p. And p, you should end up with 2. And that is how you get your value of p. This is for A. Job done. Right, and we proceed to B. B says the area of shaded region. Okay, to get your area of shaded region, from what I see here, I realize that, hold on now, this is 0, -4. I will have to break it into two different regions, which is region A and region B. And then I will sketch something like this. Okay, I make it into a trapezium. Okay, I make it into a trapezium. And at the same time, there is another triangle at the bottom for region B, right? There is a right angle triangle for the bottom, region B. So if we talk about region A, I want to get the area of region A, right? Let me use purple color. Region A, area. I would have to use the trapezium formula, which is the entire trapezium, and then take away area under the curve, which is here, but facing towards y-axis. So it's going to be dy here. Okay, so for the trapezium area, it's 1 over 2 bracket. This is 1 here. And one more thing is, I might have to go and find out what is the value here, right? What is the value over here? The x-intercept for the straight line. So I notice also I don't have the straight line equation, and so that makes it even complicated. But in anyhow, we have to deal with it. We're gonna go and find out what is the straight line equation first. Okay, to do so, we already got our p value, which is 2. I'm gonna on hold this equation first. I proceed with forming the equation of the straight line using this coordinate y minus y1 equal to m x minus x1. So y minus 2 equal to gradient is All right, gradient, you gotta be careful, yeah, because the straight line gradient is 3p, and you just got your p is 2. So your gradient here is 3 times 2, yeah? Right, 3 times 2, and then x minus 1. Okay, I'm substituting the coordinate a here. So y equal to, this is 6x minus 6, and then you want a plus 2 because you move over. So this is 6x minus 4. Right, because this is the x-intercept position, your y is equal to 0. So that means 0 equal to 6x minus 4, 4 equal to 6x, x is actually 4 over 6, simplify, 2 over 3. The coordinate over here is 2 over 3, 0. So that will allow me to determine the length of it, which is 1 plus 2 over 3, and then I gotta multiply with the height of the trapezium, which is 2. Okay, following this value. Got it? So I get already this trapezium area. I have to deduct the area under the curve facing towards y, okay, which is this green region here. So how do I create that equation is through integral, and I notice this is 0 all the way to 2. Because this is dy, your equation will be x, right? Your equation will be x. So the curve equation is this, which is y equal to p is 2, right? So 2x cubed. You want to make it x as your subject. So it will be y divided by 2 equal to x cubed. X will be cube root of y over 2, which is also 1 over 2y power 1 over 3. Now that is my x equation. Okay, I'm going to replace that into my solution. Okay, let me pull this down a bit. Let's continue here. Now this one, I will straight away get my calculator. I will end up with 5 over 3 minus 0 to substitute this equation. 1 over 2y bracket 1 over 3 dy. Okay, so 5 over 3 minus, you want to integrate this. This is 1 over 2y. Okay, 1 over 3, if you plus 1, you get 4 over 3. Don't forget you have to divide 4 over 3. You have to also multiply one thing, the differentiation within the bracket 1 over 2y. If you differentiate 1 over 2y, you will get 1 over 2. This is a working step that a lot of students might forget. Okay, so that means this is actually 1 over 2y power 4 over 3 divided by 4 over 3 times 1 over 2, you actually get 2 over 3. So that is where you want to replace the 0 and 2 into this equation. Let me continue writing down. I'm going to use a different color. 5 over 3 minus, this is 1 over 2 bracket 2 power 4 over 3 over 2 over 3 minus 1 over 2 bracket 0 power 4 over 3 over 2 over 3. Okay, if you press your calculator in one shot, you get 1 over 6 here. That means your region A is actually 1 over 6. That is how you get your region A. Then region B is much more easier and straightforward because it's a right angle triangle. So you want to do area B is 1 over 2 times the length. The length is actually from 0 to 2 over 3. So this is 2 over 3 times the height. The height is from O to B, which give you 4 units. You can ignore the negative. Okay, so 1 over 2 times 2 over 3 times 4 will end up with a result of 4 over 3 unit square. Don't forget, because they want the total shaded region, so you want to add up 1 over 6 and 4 over 3. So total 1 over 6 plus 4 over 3 unit square. And there you go, you get 3 over 2 unit square. And that is for question B, area of the shaded region. Okay, you may take some time to jot down first. And also, if you have any questions you would like to ask or clarify, you may also put down in the comments. I will on and off check my comments. If I do have received any comments, I will try to reply as much as I can. Okay. Right. Let's move on to question C. Question C, they say, the volume generated in terms of pi when the region bounded by the curve and the straight line x equal to 1 is revolved through 90 degree about the x-axis. Okay, so let us just erase all this nonsense stuff. It's not related to C. Okay, now the C mentions something important. It says the region bounded by the curve and the straight line x equal to 1. So I want you to draw the line here, x equal to 1, and also make it bold for the curve. Okay, now these two lines is considered very important when you are dealing with question C, because they actually referring to this region. Okay, this entire region rotate x-axis 90 degree. And how would you calculate the volume? All right, how would you calculate the volume? So to calculate this volume, all right, I'm gonna write it bottom here, down here, C. Okay, if you notice, for volume, right, our formula always starts with pi integral, and the region starting from 0 to 1, right? So 0 to 1, and don't forget this is rotate about x-axis, so this is going to be y squared dx. Dx will decide in which the direction they rotate. It's if this is about x-axis, then it's going to be dx. Whatever dx here, over here should reflect the y square. Now when I say y square, right, you want to go back to your equation y equal to 2x cubed. Okay, this is y. So y square is going to be 2x cubed square. You want to square both sides. So basically that is the equation you want to replace it here. Okay. So pi integral 0 to 1, this is 2x cubed squared dx. And one more thing you don't want to forget is this one, it only rotates 90 degree. Now when it's only 90 degree, right, your full equation, you have to multiply with 90 over 360. So if you simplify this down, this is actually 1 over 4. This is 1 over 4. So you can take this 1 over 4, write it down here, 1 over 4 followed by the pi, and then you start your integration job. So 0 to 1, you expand this out, 2 squared is 4 followed by x power 6 dx. So 1 over 4 pi, open up a big bracket, integrate this 0 1, then 1 over 4 pi, open up bracket, 4 bracket 1 power 7 minus 4 bracket 0 power 7 divided by 7. Okay, so this is 1 over 4 pi multiplied with 4 over 7. So when you do final calculation, 1 over 4 pi times 4 over 7, you will end up with an answer which is 1 over 7 pi unit cube. So that is the end of the volume generated. That's all. So regardless, they tell you like 90 degree, 180, 270, or 360. If it's 90, 180, and 270, right, you can always write it this way. Because 90 per 360, I'm sure you will, even if you try press calculator, you get 1 over 4. So that will work the same way for 180 over 360 and 270 over 360. Okay, so this is actually question C, and that is the end for question 10 for Form 5 Chapter 3 Integration. Alright, we're going to move on with the last questions for the video. Okay, last question is from Form 4 Chapter 7. Okay, let's look at the question together. Diagram 5 shows the triangle PQR on a Cartesian plane. It is given that the gradient of the straight line PQ, QR, and PR is negative 3m, m, and 3m respectively, such that m is a constant. Show that m is 1 over 2. Okay, so it must have something to do with gradient. Let's try to list out this tree first. PQ, gradient of PQ is negative 3m. Gradient of QR is m, and then gradient of PR will be 3m. Okay, so that means the diagram already gave us P and Q. We could actually create the gradient equation using these two coordinates, and then we link it to this. So that means 4 minus 1, which is y2 minus y1, okay, using the q and p coordinate, 4 minus 1 and negative 1 minus 1 equally to negative 3m. All right, this is referring to p and q gradient, yeah? 4 minus 1 is 3, and this is negative 2. All right, and then you take the m, the negative 3m, negative 3, pull over to the left. So this is 3 over negative 2, divide by negative 3. And if you press calculator, you get m equal to positive 1 over 2. And that is how you shown the answer. M equal to 1 over 2. Okay, so that is for A. And let's look at B together. Find the coordinates of R. Okay, to get your R right, I always teach my students, and I'm here to share with you, R is an intersection point between two straight lines. I would suggest you to actually get this equation, and then you equal it together. That action, when you equal them together, right, is where the intersection happen, and that is how you find your intersection point in this case, which is R. Okay, let me show you step by step what I mean by that. So because we already got the gradient, which is 1 over 2, right? So that means my gradient for PQ is negative 3 times 1 over 2, which is negative 3 over 2. For gradient of QR is 1 over 2. For this one, PR is 3 times 1 over 2. You get 3 over 2 positive. Okay, so form an equation. Gradient of QR is 1 over 2. PR is 3 over 2. Okay, you write it two sides. Two sides mean, okay, let me write here. Gradient PR 3 over 2. Gradient of QR is 1 over 2. Okay, your P coordinate is 1, 1, right? Okay, put out here. Your Q coordinate is negative 1 and 4. Okay, we form the equation for these two lines. So y minus 1 equal to 3 over 2 x minus 1. This is y minus 4 equal to, gradient is 1 over 2, and then x minus 1. So this is y equal to 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2 plus 1. This is 3 over 2x minus 1 over 2. Okay, we end up with this negative 1 over 2. And then y minus 4 equal to 1 over 2. This is x plus 1. Expand this out. You get 1 over 2x plus 1 over 2. And you want to move this to the right, plus 4. So 1 over 2x plus 9 over 2. Okay, now once we got these two equation of the straight line, then you want to equal them together. Y equal to y. Okay, that means 3 over 2x minus 1 over 2 equal to 1 over 2x plus 9 over 2. The entire equation I multiply 2, I get 3x minus 1 equal to x plus 9. 3x minus x equal to 9 plus 1. This is 10. 2x. X will be 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And then when my x is equal to 5, y equal to, you can put it back into either of the equations. So y equal to 1 over 2 times 5 plus 9 over 2. Let's say I put it back here. I get my result is 7. So r coordinate is 5, 7. That's how you basically get the answer for the r coordinates. Okay, so the concept is pretty straightforward, which means whenever you try to find an intersection point, right, try to get two equations, and that two equations equally together. But the requirement is you want to make sure that both the equation is y as your subject. All right, you don't want to do halfway a different subject and then you equal it. No, you must make sure both lines is in y as a subject, and then only you equal them together. And when I say equal, you only equal the later part, which is the right hand side of the equation. Okay, so that will be your way of getting your r coordinates, and we are done with the first 5 marks. And we move over to C1 here. C1 says find the area of triangle PQR. I think this is quite simple as well, because the formula is fixed. R is 5, 7. Formula, it's the shoelace formula, right? So area of triangle PQR equal to 1 over 2. All right, this one maybe there's something I might want to emphasize. You can choose clockwise or anti-clockwise, but don't jump, all right? Don't jump. So PQR, we select the number, which is smallest to start first. So 1, 1, negative 1, 4, and then 5, 7, and then you must go back to 1, 1, okay? Where you start is where you end. Remember that when you apply shoelace formula. And then I always teach my student to open up two brackets. In between the bracket, just put a minus sign because that is how they fixed it. Okay, then the next is 1 times 4 is 4, negative 1 times 7, negative 7, 5 times 1 is 5. The second bracket is 1 times negative 1, negative 1. This is 4 times 5, 20. And then 7 times 1, 7. So 1 over 2 modulus 4 minus 7 plus 5 will give you 2 minus, and then negative 1 plus 27 is 26, right? Minus 26, okay? So 1 over 2 modulus 2 minus 26 is negative 24, but with the modulus, you will end up with a positive 24, and then 24 divided by 2, you get 12. So 12 units square is the area of triangle PQR. That is how fast you can get your area using the shoelace formula, okay? So we are done with area. We have last part to go, which is question 12. Sorry, C2. C2, they say point U move such that its distance from point R is always 5 over 2 times the distance from point Q. Find the equation of the locus of U. Okay, got it. So based on the statement itself, right, we can deduce an equation UR is always 5 over 2 times of UQ. Now this is very important for your starting point, okay? Then the next step I would do is 2UR equal to 5UQ. Okay, 2UR equal to 5UQ. I'm gonna use this to get my equation of locus U. Okay, I move this to the left, and that's what I did. Let me find a space to continue my solution. I would have to minimize this. I'm so sorry for the prayer because it's the time where they do this. So let us get focused on the equation. Okay, 2UR equal to 5UQ, right? That means the R coordinate will happen on your left, your Q coordinate will happen on your right. So R coordinate alone is 5, 7, and then Q alone will be negative 1 and 4. Okay, now this is going to be a bit long, so please bear with me because the equation is, yeah, it's a bit long because we are using distance formula. So x minus 5 square plus y minus 7 square equal to, and this is 5, open up, this is x minus 1 means plus 1 here, yeah, then y minus 4 square. Okay, so to kickstart, we will square both sides. Okay, so 2 square is 4, square root and square cancel, so everything inside here you want to expand it out. Okay, expand it out means you get x squared minus 10x plus 25 plus y squared minus 14y plus 49, close bracket. 5 square is 25. Everything here you gotta expand. So x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus y squared, and then minus 8y and plus 16. Sorry, let me move this. Plus 16, close bracket. Okay, and then you want to expand 4 and 25 into each of the element. You get 4x squared minus 40x plus 800 plus 4y squared minus 56y. Oops. Minus 56y. 4 times 49 is 196 equal to, and then this is 25x squared plus 50x plus 25 plus 25y squared. 25 times negative 8y will give you negative 200y. And lastly, 25 times 16 is 400. Oh my god, the equation is so long. Sorry, give me a second. I pull here a bit. Okay, this is plus 400. So I will have to move every element here towards the right side. The only thing that I decide to move left hand side into right hand side is because I want to keep it x squared and y squared positive value. So if you notice this is 4, right? I move to the right, it becomes 25 minus 4. So I get positive result. But if I take 25 to the left, 4 minus 25, I get negative. So I want to keep it positive side. Okay, so when you do it one by one, all right, you will end up one side is 0. So you're going to get 21x squared plus 21y squared plus 90x minus 144y plus 129. And whenever you are done with the equation, right, do be careful. If they can simplify, you must do that. So this one can be divided by 3. Everything just divide by 3. You will end up with 7x squared plus 7y squared plus 30x minus 48y plus 43 equal to 0. Okay, and I think that is the end of the equation of locus of u. So that will be another 5 marks. All right, just to avoid the video is too long, so I'm going to keep it at here. I'm going to stop here, which is section B, end of the section B. In the upcoming video, I will cover section C, but section C, I will primarily cover chapter 9, which is solution of triangle, and index numbers only. Okay, I will focus on these two topics. So yeah, do remember to check out my other videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. Thank you very much for staying by. I will see you in another video. Bye bye.